Welcome to the deep dive. You know how we do things here. We take really complex topics and break them down so you don't have to. And today we're diving into the world of someone who embodies complexity, Dr. Eng. Professor Yogesh Malhotra. I mean, honestly, his CV is so packed, it reads like a science fiction novel.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. His
Right.
expertise, it's like it spans everything.
Mm.
AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, even quantum computing. So we're going to explore all that, the breadth and depth of his work. And trust me, you'll be amazed at the impact he's had on so many industries and governments around the world.
Okay, so first things first, 10 degrees.
It's true.
Engineering, computer science, finance accounting. It's almost unbelievable. And then on top of that, he has all these certifications in things like cybersecurity and ethical hacking. How does one person even begin to accumulate so much knowledge?
Well, what's fascinating to me is that he doesn't just collect knowledge, he synthesizes it. He sees the connections between all these different fields, these seemingly disparate fields, and he finds ways to weave them together, create something entirely new.
So it's not just about being an expert in one area. It's about understanding how all these areas kind of intersect and influence each other.
Exactly. A perfect example of this is his work with AWS Quantum Valley. Have you heard of this?
I've heard the name, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it is. Is it like a school, a research lab?
It's more like an ecosystem.
Huh.
Dr. Malhotra actually founded this organization, and it's dedicated to preparing individuals and organizations for the quantum computing era. He's on the cutting edge of developing quantum-enhanced AI and machine learning models. He's not just talking about the future, he's building it.
Okay, that sounds incredibly ambitious. But how does this connect to his work in more traditional fields, like finance or government?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Dr. Malhotra consults for major players on Wall Street, advising trillion-dollar hedge funds on AI and ML applications. And on the other side, he's working with governments all over the world, including Switzerland, the Netherlands, and South Korea, on digital transformation strategies.
So he's taking this cutting-edge knowledge of quantum computing and AI and finding ways to apply it to real-world problems in finance and government.
Precisely, and he doesn't stop there. He's even collaborating with the U.S. Air Force on developing AI quantum networks.
Hold on. AI quantum networks. That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction film.
It does, doesn't it? Combining the power of quantum computing with AI learning capabilities, it could lead to some major breakthroughs in communication, problem solving, even new forms of intelligence. But what's important to note here is that Dr. Malhotra isn't just focused on the technological advancements. He's deeply concerned with the ethical implications, too, and how these technologies impact humanity.
So even while he's working on these incredibly complex and futuristic projects, he's still grounded in the human element. He's thinking about how these technologies will affect people's lives.
Absolutely. And that's reflected in his recent work as a SUNY Lumen Circles Fellow. He's focusing on making AI more human-centered, emphasizing the importance of human interpretation and context when it comes to data.
You know, I remember reading a quote from him where he says, "Data is profoundly dumb." What did he mean by that?
He believes that data on its own is meaningless. It requires human understanding, human insight. To make sense of it and extract real value, we need to be the ones asking the right questions, identifying the patterns that matter, and ultimately ensuring that AI serves humanity, not the other way around. It's not about replacing human intelligence with artificial intelligence. It's about using AI to augment and enhance our own capabilities.
That's a really powerful point. So he's not just developing these technologies, he's advocating for a responsible and ethical approach to AI development.
Exactly, and he's putting this philosophy into practice with his Yogi AI methodology. It's a framework he developed that aims to bridge the gap between data and human understanding.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Can we dive a little deeper into that methodology? How does it actually work? What are the key principles?
Well, it's based on the idea that we need to be more mindful and intentional in how we use AI. One key element is something called appreciative inquiry, which encourages a collaborative approach to problem solving, focusing on strengths and possibilities rather than limitations.
So instead of focusing on what's wrong, you focus on what's right and how you can build on that.
Precisely. And AI can be a powerful tool in this process. It can help us analyze data, identify patterns, and suggest potential solutions. But it's crucial that humans remain in the driver's seat, interpreting the data, making decisions, and ultimately guiding the AI towards meaningful outcomes.
It's a reminder that AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us to use it wisely.
Exactly. And that brings us to another fascinating project of his, The 3 GenAI meta search engine. Have you heard about this?
I haven't. What is that?
It's essentially a search engine that goes beyond traditional search results. It compares the outputs of different AI systems and then validates those outputs against traditional search results. Think of it as a built-in fact checker for AI, ensuring the reliability and accuracy of the information we receive.
So it's addressing concerns about AI bias and potential inaccuracies. That's pretty important, especially with the increasing reliance on AI in so many areas of our lives.
It is, and it highlights Dr. Malhotra's commitment to responsible AI development. He's very aware of the potential risks and is actively working to mitigate them.
I'm really struck by how Dr. Malhotra seems to be operating on multiple levels. He's a brilliant researcher, a sought-after consultant, and an advocate for ethical AI development. It's like he's not content with just understanding these technologies. He wants to shape how they're used and ensure they benefit humanity.
That's a great observation. And it's this multifaceted approach that makes him such an intriguing figure. He's not just pushing the boundaries of what's technologically possible. He's also deeply engaged in the ethical and philosophical implications of these advancements.
And this leads us to another fascinating aspect of his work, his passion for education. He's not just working in these high-level circles, he's also dedicated to bringing AI into the classroom.
That's right. He's developed AI-powered educational resources and even designed courses specifically to prepare students for an AI-driven world.
So it's not just about teaching students how to code or build AI systems. It's about giving them a deeper understanding of AI
Yeah.
and its potential impact on their lives and careers.
Exactly. He believes that AI education should go beyond technical skills and cultivate critical thinking, adaptability, and a human-centered approach to technology.
That sounds like a very forward-thinking approach to education. But I have a question. If Dr. Malhotra is so passionate about education, why is he spending so much time consulting for hedge funds and the Air Force? Shouldn't he be focusing on teaching?
That's a great question, and it reflects a common misconception. Dr. Malhotra believes that education is not confined to the classroom. His work in various sectors informs his teaching, allowing him to bring real-world experience and perspectives to his students. And his engagement with these institutions allows him to influence how AI is developed and implemented at the highest levels.
I see. So it's all connected. His work in the real world informs his teaching, and his teaching, in turn, prepares students to go out and make a positive impact in the world.
Exactly. It's a virtuous cycle, and it speaks to his belief in the power of education to shape the future. But we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much more to uncover about Dr. Malhotra's work, especially his contributions to digital transformation initiatives across the globe.
Well, I'm definitely hooked. I can't wait to dive deeper into that in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm glad to hear it. We'll be exploring his work with governments, his insights on digital transformation, and his vision for a future where technology empowers humanity.
We left off talking about Dr. Malhotra's work in education and his belief that it's not confined to the classroom. So let's dive deeper into that. What specifically is he doing to bring AI into learning?
He's taking a multifaceted approach, you could say. Like, he's developed these AI-powered educational resources that can actually personalize the learning experience. They adapt to each student's needs and pace. And then he's designed courses that not only teach the technical aspects of AI, but also explore its impact on society, the ethical considerations and even the philosophical implications.
So it's not just about teaching students how to use AI, but also helping them understand why it matters and how to use it responsibly.
Exactly. He wants to empower these students to be critical thinkers and problem solvers and ethical decision makers in an AI-driven world. It's not just about the jobs. It's about making them informed and engaged citizens.
That's really interesting. But you know something I'm curious about? We talked earlier about his belief that data is profoundly dumb, meaning that data needs humans to make sense of it, to make it truly meaningful. So how does this philosophy translate into his work in education?
Oh, it's central. Like, he always emphasizes that AI should augment human intelligence, not replace it. So in his courses, he encourages students to question assumptions, challenge biases, and look beyond the surface of data to uncover the deeper meaning and insights. He wants them to understand that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
So he's teaching them to be discerning users of AI, not just passive consumers.
Exactly. And this ties back to his Yogi AI methodology. I remember we talked about that. One of the key elements is appreciative inquiry.
Right, the collaborative problem-solving approach that
Yeah.
focuses on strengths and possibilities.
Yes, exactly. And in education, what that means is encouraging students to identify their own strengths, explore their passions, and use AI as a tool to unlock their full potential. It's about fostering creativity and innovation, and a sense of agency, too.
That sounds incredibly empowering. But how does this actually play out in the classroom? Can you give me a concrete example?
Okay, sure. Imagine a classroom where students are using AI-powered tools to analyze historical data, identify patterns, and develop hypotheses
Hmm.
about past events. The AI can help them sift through huge amounts of information and uncover connections they might not have seen on their own, but it's the students who are driving the inquiry. They're asking the questions, formulating the arguments, and ultimately drawing their own conclusions. The AI is more like a partner, not a substitute for human thought.
That's a great example. It shows how AI can enhance learning without replacing the teacher or diminishing the student's role.
Precisely. And it's this balance between human and artificial intelligence that Dr. Malhotra strives for in all his work, not just education.
Now, I know we touched on this earlier, but I want to circle back to Dr. Malhotra's 3 GenAI, meta-GenAI, meta-search engine. It's such a unique project. Can you explain in a little more detail how it works and why it's so important?
Of course, it's essentially a search engine that compares the outputs of different AI systems. So let's say you're researching climate change. You might use a few different AI tools to gather information, each with its own algorithms and biases.
Right, so you're getting multiple perspectives, but also potentially exposing yourself to multiple biases too.
Exactly, and that's where this meta search engine comes in. It takes those diverse AI outputs and compares them, highlighting any agreements and disagreements. Then it goes a step further. It validates those outputs against traditional search results, kind of like a fact checker.
So it's not just aggregating information from different AI, it's about verifying that information and helping users identify potential bias.
Precisely. This is so crucial for transparency and accountability in AI. We need to be able to trust the information. And the meta search engine helps build that trust.
It's amazing that he's working on such a wide range of projects, from quantum-enhanced AI to educational resources, to tools that help us navigate this AI-driven world. He's really covering all the bases.
He is, and it's this breadth of knowledge that makes him such a valuable voice in these AI conversations. You know about AI and its impact on society, but we haven't even touched on his work as a consultant and advisor to governments around the world, guiding them through digital transformation.
That's right. I'm curious to hear more about that. What are some of the key insights he's shared with governments about navigating the digital age?
Oh, one of the most important things is the need for a human-centered approach to digital transformation. It's not just about adopting new technologies for the sake of it. It's about using those technologies to improve people's lives, enhance services, and create a more equitable and sustainable society.
That makes sense. Technology should serve humanity, not the other way around. But what does this look like in practice? Can you give me some specific examples of how Dr. Malhotra is helping governments put this philosophy into action?
Absolutely. Let's take his work with the government of Switzerland. He advised them on using AI algorithms in their national banking and finance sector, which is obviously highly sensitive and complex. His guidance wasn't just about implementing the technology, it was about ensuring those algorithms were used responsibly, transparently, and ethically, with safeguards to protect data privacy and prevent bias.
So he's bringing that same focus on human values and ethical considerations to his work with government.
Exactly. He's helping them navigate this digital age while keeping the focus on the human element. But it's not just about mitigating risks, it's also about seizing opportunities. He's encouraging governments to be bold and innovative in their approach to digital transformation, to explore new ways of using technology to address societal challenges and improve people's lives.
Can you give me an example of that? What are some of the more innovative ways he's encouraging governments to use technology?
One area he's really passionate about is using AI and data analytics to improve public services. So he's worked with governments on projects that use AI to optimize transportation systems, personalize healthcare delivery, and enhance educational outcomes. Just a few examples of how technology can be used to create a more efficient, responsive, and equitable society.
That's incredibly inspiring. It sounds like he's not just a technological expert, but also a visionary leader shaping a better future for all of us.
You've hit the nail on the head. He's not just predicting the future, he's creating it, but his vision extends far beyond governments and public services. Remember his collaboration with the U.S. Air Force on AI quantum networks.
Right. That's still blowing my mind. What are the implications of something like that, beyond the obvious advancements in communication and processing power?
The possibilities are mind-boggling. Imagine a world where AI-powered quantum computers can analyze huge data sets to predict and prevent natural disasters, develop personalized medical treatments, or even unlock the secrets of the universe. Dr. Malhotra is laying the groundwork for that future. It's both exciting and daunting at the same time.
It is. It feels like we're standing at the edge of a new era.
Yeah.
And Dr. Malhotra is one of the pioneers leading the way.
He is. And what's remarkable is he's doing all of this while staying grounded in his core values. A belief in human ingenuity, a commitment to ethical and responsible technology, and a passion for education that goes beyond the classroom. But his story doesn't end there. In the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore some of his most recent work and delve even deeper into his vision for the future, where technology empowers humanity.
I can't wait. This has been a truly deep dive into the mind of a remarkable individual, and I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from Dr. Malhotra's 10 degrees to his work with governments and the Air Force. But you mentioned there's still more, especially his vision for the future.
Right, yeah, there is.
So let's dive into that.
Absolutely. One thing that really strikes me about Dr. Malhotra is that he's not just this brilliant technologist, he's a true visionary. He sees the potential of these emerging technologies, but he also gets the impact they'll have on society, on humanity itself.
That's something we've been talking about this whole time. He's clearly passionate about making sure technology serves humanity, not the other way around. But what does that actually look like? What's his vision for the future?
Well, for him, it's not about predicting a specific future. It's more about giving people the power to shape their own destinies in this rapidly changing world. He believes technology, especially AI, can be a powerful tool for good, but only if it's developed and used responsibly, ethically, and with a deep understanding of its potential impact.
So it's not like this utopian vision of a tech paradise. It's more nuanced, recognizing both the opportunities and the challenges.
Exactly. He's not naive to the risks. Like, AI could be misused, it could make existing inequalities worse, or even be used to create autonomous weapons, things that operate beyond human control. But he's not a pessimist either. He believes we have the power to steer these technologies in a positive direction, to use their potential for good while mitigating the risks.
And this brings us back to his work in education.
Yeah.
It seems like he's putting a lot of energy into preparing future generations for this complex landscape.
He is. And it's not just about the technical skills. It's about giving them a sense of responsibility, critical thinking, and a deep understanding of the ethics of AI. He wants them to be the architects of the future.
It's really inspiring to hear someone talk about these issues with such a balanced and thoughtful perspective. But I'm curious about something. We've talked a lot about his work on a macro level, advising governments, collaborating with the Air Force. What about on a more personal level? What does he think about how AI might impact our individual lives, our relationships, our sense of self?
That's a great question, and it is something he's been addressing in his work. He believes AI has the potential to fundamentally change the way we live, how we work, how we interact with each other. It could automate tasks, personalize experiences, even augment our cognitive abilities.
It's almost overwhelming to think about. But what about the potential downsides? Could AI lead to more social isolation, job displacement, or even a loss of privacy?
Those are all valid concerns, and Dr. Malhotra acknowledges them. He knows AI could create new challenges, but he also believes we can address them if we approach them thoughtfully. He really stresses the importance of developing AI systems that are transparent, explainable, and aligned with human values.
So it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the values that guide its development.
Exactly. And he believes those values should be shaped through open dialogue and collaboration, involving not just the tech people, but also ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, and everyday people. He imagines a future where AI isn't something forced on us, but something we create together, shaping it to reflect our values and aspirations.
That's a really powerful vision. But how do we get there? What can we do to make sure AI benefits everyone?
Dr. Malhotra believes education is key. We have to give people the knowledge and skills to understand AI, to critically evaluate its impact, and to participate in shaping its development. He also emphasizes a culture of responsible innovation, where ethical considerations are built into AI systems right from the start.
It sounds like he's calling for a total shift in thinking, moving away from just the technical side of AI toward a more holistic and human-centered approach.
You got it. He sees AI not as a replacement for human intelligence, but as a tool to enhance our abilities, boost our creativity, and help us solve some of the world's biggest problems. But it's up to all of us to make sure it's used for good.
That's a powerful message. and one that we all need to hear. It's easy to get caught up in the hype around AI, the fear of losing jobs, the potential for it to be misused. But Dr. Malhotra's work reminds us that we have a choice in how we shape this technology
Right.
and its impact on our lives.
He does, and he encourages us to be a part of that process, to join the conversation, ask the tough questions, and demand that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
That's a perfect way to wrap things up. Dr. Malhotra's work is truly inspiring. It shows the power of human ingenuity and the importance of ethical leadership. In the face of these big technological changes, it reminds us that the future isn't something that just happens. It's something we create together.
Well said. And as we finish this deep dive, I'm left feeling both hopeful and responsible. Hopeful because people like Dr. Malhotra are leading the way towards a more human-centered future. And responsible because it's up to all of us to contribute to that future, to make sure technology serves humanity.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Dr. Yogesh Malhotra. We hope you learned some valuable insights today and gained a new appreciation for the power of AI when it's guided by human values and a vision for a better future. Until next time, happy deep diving.